Hey everyone, Brian here, and I want to give you my thoughts on the supplemental draft of the WWE that just took place today. For some of you that don't know what the supplemental draft is, it's basically WWE's own version. Basically what it is for WWE is when they do the annual draft on television for 3 hours, they can only get like 12 to maybe 15 superstars, maybe 16 superstars drafted back and forth. The supplemental draft, which takes place a few days later on WWE.com, even though it's not, shown on air on WWE.com like through television, or video players or anything like that. Basically, what that is it allows WWE to, draft more superstars, double the superstars that they drafted the previous 2 nights before. So in this case, on Monday, 12 were drafted. Today, 24 were drafted. So let's talk about those 24. First off, the first pick in the supplemental draft, first of all, was Mr. Kennedy, drafted from Smackdown to Raw. Now, how does this work? How does this affect it? Well, apparently, Kennedy and Kane are sort of the kind of superstars they're trying out on different shows. I mean, we all remember that last year Kane went from Smackdown to Raw, and now, he's back on Smackdown. Kennedy is doing the same thing. I think it all depends on the audience, on how the audience reacts, and basically what is the better program for them. Excuse me. So we'll find out there. Now, the second pick of the night, Shad Gaspar of Crime Time goes from Raw to Smackdown. Now, first when I saw this, I'm thinking, oh great, they're going to break up Crime Time? Well, we'll get into that in a little bit, but I think he'll be a worthy addition to SmackDown. Third pick of the night also goes to SmackDown. Alicia Fox, no longer with DJ Gabriel, which probably means Gabriel will go back to FCW for a while. Perhaps, we're not sure. But Alicia Fox is now on SmackDown, probably will compete for the women's title, and we might see something between her and Edge again. Who knows? Number 4 in the draft, Primo Cologne, one half of the Unified Tag Team Champions, goes to Raw from SmackDown. Now first, just like with Shad, you think, oh great, there goes the Tag Team Champions. How's this going to work out? Well, we'll get into that a little bit, but Primo now on Raw. Mike Knox goes from Raw to SmackDown. Obviously, they're going to make Mike Knox more of a monster probably on SmackDown. I don't know how this is going to work, but Mike Knox now on SmackDown. Number 6. Ezekiel Jackson goes from SmackDown to ECW. And just as I said with Vladimir the other day, I think this is probably the better fit for Ezekiel, because ECW, as we all know, as many people have said, even a certain former wrestling manager, slash director of authority or management guy of a certain promotion said this as well, that ECW is none other than WWE's nationally televised developmental territory. That's all it is. And Ezekiel Jackson going there is a perfect fit. So, good to see Ezekiel probably going to get a chance to learn the ropes. Number 7, Nikki Bella goes from SmackDown to Raw. Now you might think, oh great, they're going to finally give the Bella Twins some individual space. Not so quite. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Number 8, Candice Michelle. It's been rumored, it's been talked about, and it has happened. Candice Michelle goes back to SmackDown. Remember, a couple years ago, Candice Michelle was traded to Raw along with Tori Wilson. But now Candice Michelle back on SmackDown, apparently is going to compete for the women's title. And it looks like SmackDown is getting a stronger women's division now. Number 9, Zack Ryder goes from SmackDown to ECW, and there's the end of Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. So just like Ezekiel and Vladimir, Zack Ryder getting an opportunity to finally grow and learn more of the ropes. Zack Ryder back on ECW. And let's not forget, a couple years ago, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins started on ECW, so Zack Ryder is back on ECW. Number 10, Chavo Guerrero, no surprise here, goes to Raw. Chavo now back on the same side along with his Aunt Vicky Guerrero. How this is going to work out? Well, apparently maybe she'll push Chavo to be a main eventer. We don't know. Chavo Guerrero, though, now on Raw, or back on Raw. Number 11, Ricky Ortiz, Big O Ricky O, goes from ECW to SmackDown. What does this mean for Ricky Ortiz? Well, some are saying he might be a jobber now, and some are probably thinking he might finally get the push he deserves. We'll find out, but Ricky Ortiz now on SmackDown. Number 12, Layla. That's right, Layla is now back on SmackDown. Remember, a year ago, Layla, again in the supplemental draft, was drafted from SmackDown to Raw. She goes back to SmackDown. Layla now part of SmackDown. Once again. Number 13, I don't know how they're going to work this out. Hornswoggle goes to Raw. I don't know how they're going to do this, how they're going to work it. Some, like myself, might think they're going to let Hornswoggle go after this. Who knows? Hornswoggle, though, now on Raw. Number 14, D.H. Smith. D.H. Smith goes from SmackDown to ECW. And again, of course, this allows D.H. Smith to learn the ropes, and it also probably disavows anything that, or as of right now, disavows anything of D.H. Smith going to Legacy. But we could be wrong. Things have been proven in the past that things can change. Number 15, John Morrison goes to SmackDown. And no surprise here, since John Morrison is no longer a tag team with The Miz. John Morrison now on SmackDown. We'll see what they do with him there, but he is on SmackDown. Number 16 in the supplemental draft, Carlito. Carlito goes to Raw. So the Unified Tag Team Champions, although it has been already talked about and official that they will defend the belts on all three shows, that if they ever lose the belts, both Carlito and Primo are now Raw exclusive superstars until possibly next year. So Carlito and Primo, Unified Tag Team Champions on Raw. Now, number 17, Natalya. No surprise here, since Tyson Kidd's on ECW. Natalya goes to ECW, taking the place, obviously, of Alicia Fox. Natalya now the only diva, as far as we know, on ECW, with the exception of Tiffany. Number 18, the breakup of another tag team has occurred. Festus is now on Raw, which means Jesse is alone on SmackDown. Jesse now goes to Raw. We don't know how he's going to work there, what's going to happen, but now he is on Raw. Festus goes to Raw. Number 19, JTG to SmackDown, which means Crime Time has gone from Raw to SmackDown. Will they continue the, will they continue the fun ways? We'll find out, but now they're on SmackDown. Might get a bigger push since, they're on SmackDown. Who knows? Number 20, Dolph Ziggler goes to SmackDown from Raw. Will they give him a bigger push there? We don't know, but Dolph Ziggler goes to Raw. Number 21, the Brian Kendrick, goes to SmackDown. But number 21, the Brian Kendrick goes to Raw. That's right. And as I mentioned earlier, 20, Dolph Ziggler goes to SmackDown. Number 21, the Brian Kendrick goes to Raw, which means Kendrick is now on his own. And if anything, they're either going to let Brian Kendrick go after this, they might push him, or Brian Kendrick will be used as a jobber, as he's been being used lately. But Brian Kendrick now on Raw by himself. No Ezekiel Jackson, since Jackson is on ECW. Number 22, Charlie Haas and his alter egos go from Raw to SmackDown. How will this work out? Will they reunite the world's greatest tag team there? Since Shelton's there, we'll find out. But Charlie Haas now on SmackDown. Number 23, Hurricane Helms goes from SmackDown to ECW. To me, this is a good pick for ECW. Hurricane Helms, I think, will help them out a lot. Good pick for ECW. Good pickup. Hurricane Helms now on ECW. And the last pick of the supplemental draft, Brie Bella to Raw. That's right. Just like the Carlones, the Bella twins are now on Raw together. What does this mean? Will they reunite? Will they still fight each other? We don't know, but they are now on Raw. Both of them. And that's all 24 supplemental draft picks that have taken place. Overall, it looks like an even field. ECW's got a fair amount, got a good amount. SmackDown's got a good amount, and Raw's got a good amount. A lot of great changes, and that's all I can say about the supplemental draft. And I hope you enjoyed it. But those are all the draft picks of the supplemental draft that have taken place. You got any questions? Look on the WWE.roger.com or WWEWrestlingNewsWorld.com to find out more. But those are your draft picks for this year of the supplemental draft. And those will take place go into effect not this week, but next week and in the weeks to come. Now, I'm Brian. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my talking of the supplemental draft picks. Till next time, peace out.